CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to D&J's Epic Quest. I am Justin, and alongside me is...
HC Newell.
Back by popular demand.
I'm
the popular demand. It was me.
I wouldn't say popular, nor would I say demand. Just back.
We're not talking about Derek right now. We're talking about me. The popular demand it is.
That's fair.
I was going to call you knockoff Aubrey Plaza, but I guess I won't do that.
I don't know who that is, so it doesn't offend me.
Me neither.
It wasn't meant to be offensive.
Oh, you call me knockoff. That's always offensive.
Oh, Derek's canceled.
You really don't know who she is?
No, I'm more of a face person.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Nope.
Oh, is she the girl that never smiles?
Yeah. Except you smile.
Knockoff.
Oh, and hey guys, it's Dren or Derek. I'm here too, just blabbering.
Oh yeah, we know. All right, she is the knockoff version of that girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I don't know who that is.
The girl that does the voice of Encanto. I don't know, or Stephanie something. That's who this girl is the knockoff of. So I'm the knockoff of the knockoff, basically.
You're like the dollar store version.
Yes, that is me. I will accept that.
Or Dollar General, whatever you have in Tennessee. I don't know.
I don't know which one's worse, Dollar Store or Dollar General. I'll take it.
The Dollar General of the dollar store.
I've been defeated.
Well, it's been a little bit since we recorded. It's good to do this again.
Yeah, when was the last time we even recorded? Let me look.
Like the beginning of this month, and it's November 30th. It's the last day of the month. Somewhere towards the beginning of the month. I could have swore
it was like the end of December or October.
Was it? It was before I posted my book, so it had to be.
Is when we recorded the 17th and 18th chapter. October 19th.
Dang.
That's since we were, yeah. Okay, did we do a Malazan after that?
Yes, we did 2 Malazans after that.
Since the three of us, yeah, it's been a month and a half here.
Sorry, guys. It's the best time of my life.
A good break. You said that you started the book over, but I don't believe you. I think you started it over. I don't think you caught up.
No, I totally did.
Oh, really? Hey.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. So, and I was waiting to talk about this till we were further into the episode, but it doesn't have any relevance to what we read. You know, I kept going back to how over the, since we all started this, how you kept saying that you wish that you would have like slowed things down and that it went really fast. I could tell when I went consistently because I think it took me about 4 days. I read like 50 pages a night, and then I was like caught up. So I'm like, okay, the beginning, and then the enclave with the tree in the middle, and then the spider or the spindras, right? Like there's definitely some beats, and they do kind of feel pretty quick now. So I think it was just the way that we're doing this format. So I see what you're saying there. Not that it makes it, a bad thing by any stretch of the word imagination, but I definitely can feel what you were saying there.
It's definitely fast paced. Well, whenever I wrote it in like a format of like a show. I'm pretty sure I told you guys that. So like in my head, every chapter was like an episode, and I wanted something to happen in every chapter because I wanted it to be exciting. I wanted something to, be gripping, but that's not really how books work. It's kind of more like a movie where it just sort of plays out and you got the slower parts that build up to the quicker parts. And mine was just quick part, quick part, quick part, quick part. Keep them coming, keep them reading, keep it going. But, we live and learn. I'm not upset with the book or anything. I do think it's too fast for my style now. I mean, I guess it kind of works for the story itself, because it is kind of a fast-paced story in general anyway. I don't know if it really would have worked if it was really slow-paced.
I will say I prefer the pace. Besides the 2 books we're reading for the show, I'm reading Empire of Silence. I'm about 300 pages in now. I'm a little over halfway through the book. And I've been very close to just putting the book down. First off, because it's written in first-person point of view, and I hate that. I have a really hard time. And up till about 50 pages ago, it's been super slow. But people love the shit out of this book for some reason. And now the last 50 pages or so, it's started to get more interesting. It's just like, there are some chapters that are like 2 or 3 pages. So I understand what you're saying. It feels like an episode. That's how I felt reading some of these chapters. It's an episode, but nothing really happens. Or that's how I felt reading it. So I don't know. I probably will finish the book. I don't know that I'll continue on with the series or not. But
yeah,
your pace. I prefer your pace.
Well, I can't read. I don't read a lot, and I can't read books that are slow. Like I just get bored, and I'm like, I don't care about the color of the leaves and the feel of the wind. I don't care about all the world building. I just want the characters. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know why they're doing it. And then we can get into the world building stuff because I don't even care about that. I want those characters. So I started in the middle of a scene in chapter 1 on purpose because I wanted you to literally get right into the story, know the characters, know their motivations, get into it. But I should have gone a little slower after that, just a little bit. My 3rd book is slower, but it's definitely not slow. It's still pretty fast paced, but it's kind of a good balance, which is what I think I should have done for the first 2 books. But
you hit the ground running.
Yeah. And some people hate it, some people love it. So, it's okay. Not everybody's going to love every book, so that's fine. I don't love any book, so I can't, if people don't like mine.
I guess that's fair. We're interviewing an author that on a podcast that doesn't read with a host that doesn't listen to podcasts. So
Well, that's, when I talked to Christopher Brenning, he said the same thing, though. He said he doesn't read many books either. So it's not that seemingly uncommon.
I think it's just kind of writing books.
Well, if you're writing one, when do you have time to read one?
That's legit. I think it's funny how like it's evolved a little bit, It's almost like film and TV are, 9 times out of 10 adaptations from books or stories or comics or written, artistry, right? And it's kind of like coming full circle where now enough of that is out. There's generations that have watched and viewed this content and are now taking their creative writing abilities and applying what they've learned visually into, composition. So it's just kind of cool to like see that cycle.
Yeah, and I understand the sentiment of like you can't write a book if you don't read a book because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I did in my book that isn't what people read. Like it's not what they like to read. It's too fast. There's too much. It's not enough of this. There's too much of that. But in my mind, storytelling, everybody has their own way of doing it. And just because it doesn't fit this mold doesn't mean it's not right. Like you don't have to read a ton of books to know how to write one. I have readers that read a ton of books that can kind of help me if they're like, okay, that's not working or this is working. But they tell me on more of a story level, not a comparing me to everyone else level, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all creative and we're all artists and just got to embrace it. Just tell your story. That's what I did. Look at me now.
Get it out there.
Are you gonna use our suggestion in your next book where
What was our suggestion?
characters run across other people who went through the change?
I've been thinking about it. I'll have to figure out. I do like that idea, but I have to figure out how to work it in. Because if I can't figure out how to work it in organically, then I can't use it.
I
I
mean,
tried forcing characters in book 2, and I had to cut them out. It didn't work.
they could just be side people, you know? Like, again, 2 traveling podcast creators stumble across characters on a roadway.
Telegraphers or whatever.
Yeah. It's just, you know,
Phonograph. I have had that in my mind though.
Drennick and Juster, you know?
Juster the Jester.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I could be the retarded one who's always drunk or something. I don't know. I mean,
Oh my god.
You can't say that, Justin.
my bad. My moment of not being very PC. Excuse me.
I've actually had that in my head though. I do like that idea. I had
if somebody was going to say it, I would have expected it to be me because I'm drinking, not you, Justin.
That's fair. You are the
You
alcohol.
won't actually be drunk, but everyone will think you're drunk because you're just really wacky.
Yeah, you'll be like Krupp.
Sure. In book 2, I had these travelers that were walking around with a Drellid, like, you know, shapeshifter person, and they're in like a Mexican style desert. Is how book 2 is. It's not like the Sahara. It's like a rocky and stuff, and it's super hot. And they're following these 2 humans are following this Drellid around because the Drellid is looking for ancient dragon bones because he thinks that if he can find the dragon bones, that he can turn into a dragon. So I had this whole thing with these side characters, and they were just wacky, and they were like dehydrated, and their skin was all shriveled, and they were just like too much sun exposure, and they were just crazy, and they were actually pretty entertaining, but it didn't work. Like, it did not fit into the story anywhere. It felt so forced. So I had to get rid of them, and it makes me sad. But I did have like wacky characters like that, so I have to try to figure out how to like work them in.
When we get to Forbidden Realms, you'll have to point it out where they were in the story.
Oh, I think I changed. No, I do remember some places where they were. Okay, I'll try to remember where they were. Point out.
Put a pin in it.
Oh well.
All right.
Because I would have to work in the Nicolette character, and she doesn't make any sense at all. I think you guys have already met her.
Yeah. I skipped
She's in every book.
Oh yeah. I remember you talking about that.
She's in every book. I have to work her into every book.
I think we didn't bring her up, so you did, if I remember right.
I probably did. I haven't bring up Nicolette. She's a cabbage guy of my series from Avatar last year.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Okay, we can get started now. I'll quit talking.
Fine. It's been a while.
It has been a bit.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? It's like, I know, Justin, we've talked a little bit here and there, but yeah, even like things have been busy and shit. And yeah, how's it been going for you guys?
I think you're the busiest one of the 3 of us. You went on, 2 vacations?
I wouldn't. Well, I drove to North Carolina for my sister's wedding, and that was a haul. And then I was home for 2 days before I went to Miami.
Oh, dang. And where are you guys at? Minnesota. So you went from North Carolina to Minnesota to Florida. I would have just went down to Florida from North Carolina.
Well, we had the kids with, and I didn't want to drive to Florida and then back home. When we drove to North Carolina, we stopped in Kentucky for the night. So we drove like 12 and a half hours the first day and then had like another 4 or 5 hours to drive the second day. But then when we came home, I drove the whole thing in one shot. It was 16 and a half hours of driving.
Nah, I don't think so.
How many times did you stop for gas? 5?
4 times combined, going down and back.
Damn.
Twice each way.
It's not too bad.
Must get some pretty damn good gas mileage.
We got like a 26 gallon gas tank.
That'll do it.
Yeah. You can get like 20 miles a gallon. So, yeah. Well, yeah. This feels weird because, yeah, out of practice, guys. Sorry. Hey, everybody. It is good to be back. I have been looking forward to doing this again. So I've missed both of you. I've missed talking about books. When I got home from Florida, I summarized my chapter. When did I get home? Last week?
Yeah,
before Thanksgiving. And I haven't, I didn't read the chapters again this week at any point. So we'll see how much I remember here.
I haven't read them at all. So we'll definitely see how much I remember.
You wrote them.
Yeah.
They're ingrained in your brain.
They really kind of are, but also I've got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. Oh, look what I got. No, you guys can't see because apparently these are not recorded. But oh, isn't it beautiful? I think I showed it off already, but I'm showed off again. Oh,
Nice.
beautiful.
Oh, that's cool as hell. All right, so bring that back. So yeah, you guys, I guess we don't publish these videos even on the Patreon side of things, but
You guys can't get to see.
HC was flipping through the book. There was like one page where it looked like there was a bunch of trees on the page. That looked
yeah.
cool.
I'll show you. If I can
Like
find
pine
it
trees or
again.
something.
Find the page. There's.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Thank you. I did a lot of stuff like that. The way that this one is done is a lot of stuff is like stretched out between 2 pages, or there's like a lot of typography and stuff. It's really nice. I'm excited.
Okay, there's a bunch of swords stuck in the ground here, so I'm just going to give play-by-play commentary. Swords stuck in the ground, must have been a battle, people are dead.
I don't know if y'all can read that, but I have
Character Q&A.
Yeah, I have full character interviews. I made questions for each specific character, and they have 2-page interviews. Every one of them do.
Wow.
And wow.
That's pretty cool. Don't show us any characters.
I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen anything like that before.
There's 7 main characters, so all 7 of them have their own unique interview.
So there's 14 pages of interview.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What about? Can you show the where you give us a shout out in the book?
I can.
Because that was pretty cool. D&J's Epic Quest.
Is it right there? I can't read it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it.
I think that's really cool that you did that for everybody you put in there. I didn't expect us to be in there.
You guys have characters in here, but I'm not gonna be able to find them right now. I don't know where they are. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones though. So it's a tree with like the leaves and stuff, and then you turn the page, and the tree is all burned up, and then it's got smoke and like a quote on the side.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's cool. I feel like you were showing us concepts of that, and
I did.
Cool
I'm too excited. I'm taking y'all through the whole journey.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that was a lovely 20-minute introduction. What do you say? Should we get into chapter 19 and 20 here of Curse of the Fallen?
You gonna do our Silverstone shout out?
Oh yeah. God, it has been a minute. So before we get started in today's episode, we'd really like to just take a moment to thank and recognize Silverstone's Books. Please check out their website at silverstonesbooks.com or check out their storefront, newly opened, for a large selection of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror books with many options of many signed copies at very reasonable prices. The store carries a large number of indie authors, so help us help them supporting self-published authors. Also, they've been gracious enough to give us a promo code for 10% off your next order. That code is DJ Quest. So check out their site, check out their storefront. I don't know if DJ Quest code will work on the storefront, but it definitely will online.
Go to the register. I have a code.
I don't want to put words in Kevin's mouth, but I bet if you told him that you listened and knew the code, I bet he'd probably do it, but I don't want to, guarantee that.
If you want, then you can just order it online while you're staying in the store, get the 10% off.
Yeah, go wrap this up for me.
But yeah,
life hack from HC Duel.
Eventually we'll make it down there, Derek and I, and go visit. I would imagine maybe sometime in January we should head down there.
Yeah, sometime after the new year for sure. I think December 9th they're having their grand opening, which would be cool to go to, but that's only like barely a week and a half away. So I don't think I can make that work, but it sounds like it's going to be a pretty big deal. I think the city's going to be there for like a ribbon cutting thing, and it sounds like it's a pretty big deal. So yeah, it is cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it would be good for him.
I love how quaint his shop is too. Like if anyone follows him on Instagram, I'm sure it's probably Silverstone Book Co. or something on Instagram. He has pictures of his shop and I think maybe a video, like a reel or something. It's really cute. Just got all these little tables set up and it's just really quaint. It just feels really cozy and homey to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like an indie
I guess I don't know if it's the same videos and pictures he's put up on Twitter, but I've seen some there also.
Probably. I haven't seen them in a while, so I don't know if he's updated them, but the ones I saw had like tables with tablecloths and they were like round tables and stuff and books stacked up everywhere. It was really cute.
Yeah. Well, when we go there, we'll take some pictures and we'll do, I don't know, we'll figure something out to do.
Fuck yeah.
Patrons, Jan, Picker of Pies, Luciana Etrigan, Ryan, the Topological, Damien, the Rock of Faces, Nate, Fiddle Me This, Shield Anvil Dylan, and David, the Watch, Malali. Thanks, everybody. Haven't got to spout those names off in a bit, so you can't see it, but I've got a smile on my face. It's fun to do this again because it's been the better part of a month since we've recorded anything. So I'm happy to be back doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I
Thanks,
even think our last Malazan episode was like, what, the 6th of November is when we re-recorded our Chapter 6 episode. So
that was Chapter 7, wasn't it? Or was it Chapter 6? I don't know.
On Chapter 7. That's what we're currently summarizing.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yep. I wanted to do that again. That sucked. Yeah, so we're covering chapters 19 and 20 of Curse of the Fallen. I suppose we should probably start with chapter 19 instead of 20 today.
Let's do it backwards.
I mean, we could try it that way, see what happens.
Everyone just listen to the video backwards. Start from the end and just go the other way.
Right. Yes. But that means we also have to talk backwards too.
Oh, yes. When for our good epic.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Not a skill I have.
No, me neither.
Well, what do you say? Should we kick her off?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. This should be fun, especially since I don't remember much.
Yeah. I'm ready for my first my demerit here. Chapter 19, Naikaville.
Nope.
Damn
It's
it.
close.
What
but
is it?
not.
Nikavel?
Yep.
How
So
come
you
you,
I said you were close.
you just
You're like
him
Naikaville.
like him more than me? That's fine. That's fine.
Naikaville.
I'll get over it. Epigraph. When shadows
I
snuff.
called her the Dollar General Aubrey Plaza. She can't like me that much.
I suppose you did call her a knockoff as well.
I'm both. I'm the knockoff of the Dollar General version.
Damn.
Get it right. And she's already the knockoff of somebody else. So like I'm
Yeah,
just
you
way
know
down.
that means that the exchange rate is not equal, right?
When shadows snuff out the light, the world will weep with pain. Avish prophecy.
All right. Thank you, HC. Okay. Late into the night, the group found themselves hidden deep within the woods. A shallow stream trickled by, or Lork just pissing in the woods. Near sat by a fire with her knees to her chest. Lork isn't actually peeing in the chapter. That was me improvising in the moment.
It sounds like something Lork would do.
Right, exactly.
Maybe it was. I never really let you know.
Right. It's just a shallow stream trickled by. Yeah. Near sat by a fire with her knees to her chest. She could not get the image of the reanimated corpse out of her mind. She tried to think of other things, but those thoughts returned. Something had brought him back, and she wondered if Avalok had something to do with it. Or was it really the Nasir to blame? She watched Avalok, who stood nearby Cloud. They spoke quietly to each other, and she couldn't help but feel suspicious of their intentions. She forced those thoughts down and convinced herself that he could be trusted. Near grabbed her knees tighter and looked across the campfire to see Lorik writing in his notebook. Lorik started to speak as he closed the notebook.
That boy, he was really undead, yeah?
You saw it the same as I.
I thought them creatures were only legend.
They're real. I just don't know how.
What do you mean?
The undead are creatures of darkness, Lorik. I've learned about them during my studies with Ryman. Only necromancers with the Mythic Nine have been known to reanimate, but there were no altars or runes set up in the dockhouse. I don't know how he was brought back without necromancy.
Their conversation was interrupted as Avalok and Cloud returned to the campfire. Avalok sat near.
I never say that in my book. I just want to point that out. If I do, I don't mean to. I purposefully avoid saying near as much as I can. It is hard sometimes.
Yeah, I imagine that would be difficult.
Yeah, or Nasir and near. I try not to put that in the same sentence either.
Nasir was near. All right. Avalok sat in the close proximity to Near.
Yeah.
Tended to the venison before retrieving his leather canteen and taking a large swig. He passed it to Avalok, who took a sniff and said that they should probably keep their heads clear, as this was my yash.
Nope.
Damn it.
That's in the pronunciation guide.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't look at the pronunciation. Am I right again? I'm fucking 2 for 2?
Yeah, there's pronunciation guide. People use it. I didn't make this for no reason.
I am the pronunciation guide.
Yes.
I'm 2 for 2 tonight.
Miashk and Nikavel. Get your made-up Avish language right, Justin.
Not my made-up language, it's yours.
No, get the made-up language right.
Oh, gotcha. I'll get on it. I like mine better.
No, you don't.
Near asked about it when she heard the familiar whine that Ryman always kept in his office. They'd often drink after a long day of training. Havelock passed near the canteen, and she eagerly took a large swig. While passing the drink to Cloud, she asked how the boy was reawakened. Havelock had a sneer across his face, since her mention of the wine.
How can you speak our language? When we met, you could barely say your own name.
He sounds like a romantic Frenchman.
I liked it. Maybe because I like Avalok. It worked.
How do you
It
say
worked.
his name, Derek?
Havelock.
No,
Havelock.
Avelic.
Avelic, that's right. It's better than your Cloud.
How can you accept his reimaginings of these words, but mine are just put to
Oh, just you wait for my chapter. Just wait.
Oh no.
It's favoritism, I tell you. You've met?
You sound like a caveman. You're gonna laugh at him?
This is Cloud's voice. Y'all know.
Not.
In Vleland, we ran into each other in a destroyed village.
You mean when I saved you?
Havelock cut her a menacing glare, and she matched his. Lork stared at them with frightened eyes, while Cloud withheld a smile. It's her magic. Havelock's anger turned to suspicion as her identity came into question.
Your magic? How?
Okay, I can see it now.
It's not, okay, have you ever seen Eurotrip? Have you ever seen the movie Eurotrip? My God, HC, watch it. And then the Frenchman that's in there is fucking hilarious. It
Oh
will
no.
remind you of what Derek is doing.
He talks your magic.
Right.
Oh.
Come sail away with me and suck my penis. You know.
God.
What?
I like that this is how here and Avalok are arguing. Like he's talking like this. And
Right.
she's just like, shut up.
Like, right. It sounds like a porno argument. Can you like put some emotion into it, Derek?
I'll just do Avalok. Dang. Your magic. How? Why don't we focus on why we're in my land? We're far from the border. Are you with the others? Did you do something to those boys?
They both
We're
rise.
just going to vote on this, Justin.
All right.
No, not between the three of us, but like when we put
Okay.
the episode out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put a question in there. Do you like the author's version of Avalok or D's? Yeah. They both rose, their voices overlapping each other with hostility.
Typical of a human to assume I'm a murderer because of my blood. You killed 2 people. Those men were with the others invading your land. They were just alone, halfway through land, targeting innocent children. I'm not the enemy here.
Enough. I have a little bit of like a throat thing, so I can't.
You gotta like edit that time. You gotta. That was such a long pause. When you're just like enough.
Enough. Yeah.
After
I
10 seconds of him not saying
definitely
it.
take those out. Yeah. Near turned away as his voice cut through the argument. She breathed heavily as anger clouded her clarity. I don't know how the boy was reanimated. Avalok, were the men performing rituals or magic as you arrived?
You can go, Derek.
No. Jesus Christ. They killed them and then hid the bodies before planning to escape.
How do you know that?
They told me.
They just told you.
A person will spill many secrets with enough pain.
You tortured them.
They're murderers. Minakin, they deserve no mercy.
So it was justice then. Torture them for information and leave them to die.
Is it wrong to inflict on them a fraction of the pain they've caused? To have them suffer at the hands of someone preventing the very thing they've created? There is no justice in the world.
There are prisons or banishment. How can you be so heartless as to torture another person?
If you expect idealistic views of justice to keep them from burning down another village or killing more innocent children, then you are mistaken. These people, the ones torturing, raping, and pillaging, they don't fight with honor. They don't respond to prisons or banishment. An eye for an eye is the punishment they deserve. It's the only justice they'll receive.
Quick anecdote. You sound like this universe's version of Batman. I'll take it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You went from like the porno Frenchman to Batman.
That's right. That's like his evolution. That's Batman's. That's how Batman came to be.
Oh God.
I
That's why
am
his
a
parents.
man.
It
I am a
started off
man
as
of
like
many talents.
like a porno Frenchman, then to a woman, then to like this gruff, weird sounding ape, then to Batman.
Right.
Was the evolution of Avalok throughout this episode.
Right. In a
Just
matter of
call me Bruce Banner.
We'll take it. All right. Let's go Batman Avalok.
There we go. The campsite was quiet as they glared into each other's eyes. If they were to fight, Nier would see her end. The tension died down after a few moments, and Avalok leaned back. And with a deep sigh,
I don't expect a Lanithus like you to understand. You shroud your ignorance of the world with hatred and deceit. You speak of justice and honor, yet you kill by the thousands those who are different or misunderstood. Do not believe yourself to be better than me, Mina Keen. Had you not been born with magic and outcast like the rest of us, you would have just as easily killed me that day.
Don't be so quick to assume that of me, elf. I'm not as heartless as the rest of my people.
No, but you're just as misguided.
anger seeped deep within her, turning her face a shade of red. She turned away as the heat of her fury brought sweat to her brow. The conversation died and the world was quiet again. Nier glanced at Lorik as his quill scribbled in his notebook. He didn't seem to notice the argument that just took place. Nier glanced at Avalok as he handed her a piece of venison. The heath here. You believe it reanimated on its own?
The men weren't Dremel like you, and Elishor wasn't with them either. I don't think he would be part of this anyway. The necromancer likes to keep himself hidden in the graveyards.
Cloud had a troubled look upon his face. He said that it was happening. His eyes turned to her, and she was filled with dread. Avalok shared an equally troubling gaze.
What? What's happening?
Naikavel, the Spindra, the Whispers, they're creatures of darkness. It's the reason they fade to ash as they die. Because they never were truly alive to begin with. They're conjurations of dark energy being manifested from the souls of the dead.
What? What do you mean they're manifested from the souls of the dead?
Just that. Everyone is born with gray energy. It's neither dark nor light, but it's always in between. When the light energy keeping the world in balance fades, the dark energy grows. It can send the world into chaos. It can manipulate the energy within us and conjure monsters that once never existed.
So these creatures of darkness, they're people.
No, those people gone. But their energy remains, and that is that energy which can destroy everything.
Why?
Why what?
We're doing some interpretive dance with our dialogue over here.
I don't know, it's just fun. All right. He gulped down her fear of all her teachings of the creatures of darkness. She had never known how they came to be. She turned her gaze to Avalok when he sighed and leaned back against the log.
So, do you have a plan? Are we going straight to the caves?
No, we have to retrieve the glass eye from my home. It'll allow us to see past the illusion hiding the entrance of the cave. Once we get that, then we'll be on our way to Havsgard and into the trials.
Avalok was confused by the terminology of glass eye. Cloud translated so he could understand.
I assume Thalin made mention of these hidden caves?
Who else? You may have your disagreements, but he knows more about the First Blood than anyone.
So, where's this glass eye?
Nier wanted to ask who they were talking about, but decided against it. She was determined to get to the trials and get them over and done with.
The eye is in Porsdur. It's only a day from here, so we should arrive tomorrow, so long as Cloud doesn't have any other friends to chase down.
Cloud explained that it was only the one. Nier nodded, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. In just a day's time, she could be home and one step closer to ending this journey and one step closer to freedom. Her eyes opened and shifted to Lorik. He was scribbling vigorously in his notebook again.
What are you writing?
The bard paid her no mind, as his hand moved hastily across the pages. She exclaimed his name, and he jumped, a foot in the air. He quickly snapped his notebook shut.
Oh, Neri, what was that,
Let me see that.
Oh, this nothing near just some pathetic sonnets.
Give me that notebook, Lorik.
She reached for the notebook and he quickly pulled it away. She knew he was remarking on their journey, and now he wanted to keep it hidden. She knew something was up. They wrestled for a moment, but she easily overpowered him and snatched it away. She scanned the last few pages and read aloud what he had written.
The beautiful Ravenhead mistress fought valiantly against the bloodthirsty assassin. They fell into a light squabble, which soon ended with her hand on her.
Blood rushed to her head, and her eyes widened. Though Avalok couldn't understand her, she was mortified.
Strike through this.
What?
Strike through this. Mark it out. I would never. And to think you're repulsive for even imagining such things.
It's just a story, Nier.
While arguing, Nier didn't hear Avalok as he leaned close to Cloud and asked if they were going to do this all night. With a deep sigh, Cloud turned up his head and took a large gulp of wine.
Yay!
That
was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun. It was fun to do that again. HC, apparently you've never watched any movie or TV show ever.
I'm pretty uncultured.
But I didn't think of this until just when Justin had it typed out, but I can't remember exactly where it was. But yeah, what is it, Soylent Green? Is that the movie, or is it Logan's Run? One of the two.
Never heard of either of them.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Never mind then.
I think you just made those up.
We're eating people. That's about all I remember.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was Nier's line. So these creatures, they're people. It just made me think of, I can't remember the movie with Soylent Green in it, but it's like this, I don't know. From what I remember, I thought it was like a tofu type thing, but it's people.
Okay.
It's like a 70s movie. Now I gotta look
good.
it up.
Definitely a movie I want to watch.
It's called Soylent Green. It was from 1973.
It's called Soylent Greens, and they think they're eating tofu, but they're really eating people.
Something like that, yeah. I think we watched it in school, Justin. Or I did.
Selling me on the idea here.
You might have. I mean, I feel like there were 4 teachers for every subject, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what do you got here for us? It was fun to read that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I like that chapter.
Nice to get back right. It was nice to get back into the voice acting again. Hey, we figured it out. The first thing that I had here is when Avalok is like, those men were with the others invading your land. And my guess is that these are, well, not my guess, but from what I understand, and I could be corrected, is these are the same men Nier and Cloud fought in Schmedeland, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The warriors that are with Nasir. Clan Cleatel, I want to say, are Cleatel, thank you. Is where they're from, right? So they're cool. See, I don't suck.
You didn't read the whole book, so if you didn't get that, then I would be a little disappointed.
I don't know. HC kind of made me feel real small last episode. It was just like, you even read my book?
Well, you just read it, so now you know what's going on. So maybe if you read it, you'll know what's going on.
He just read like half of it.
Yeah.
But yes, he's talking about the elves, and the only elves that they could be talking about are the ones who are invading and killing people.
Right. And from what I understand, and maybe you can clarify, because we really haven't gotten too much on them, but Nitzel and Nasir. Nizolt, thank you. Yeah, we talked about Nizolt, sorry.
I spell words wrong. It's okay. They look cooler and misspelled, so I misspelled them.
For some reason, I kept getting them like mixed up. Like
Nizolt is a god with,
right.
Yeah, he's a god with the Circle of Six or the Order of Sorrow, and the Nasir is like a person that's with the Cleatil. He is the one that Azael believes cursed her.
Right. Yes. And Nitzel. Shit. I already fucked it up. Nizzle. Thank you. He is also who people like Nier, who was born a sorcerer. They think it's like a gift from him, and they must. Right. Yep.
Yeah, he's like the god of darkness, or he's the god of deceit. So, but humans also consider him the god of darkness because, deceit, dark, devil, whatever. So, yeah.
Sure. So, do creatures of darkness have anything to do with him?
You'll just have to read and find out.
Okay. I mean, I know we got
to maybe
touch on that. But cool.
All that we know so far, obviously, because I literally just explained it in this chapter, is that creatures of darkness are just born of energy, and everybody has energy. And if that energy is distorted and manipulated when you die, it's dark. Basically, like your choices, can alter the energy within you, kind of like Star Wars. Even though that was very unintentional, but when you die, that dark energy will manifest into like monsters, basically.
So if you're a shitty person, you turn into a spider.
That is only if the balance is already shifting. That doesn't usually happen because, as we can tell from the story, these creatures of darkness are new. They are believed to not exist at all. So if everyone just turned into them always, it would be a normal thing, but it's not normal. So what Cloud is saying is that something is shifting the overall balance in the world, that the balance is no longer, in the middle. The whole world balance is now shifting more toward the darker side. And that is why the dark energy is strong enough to turn these, the energy of the dead into creatures of darkness.
So there's more shitty people than there used to be.
No, there's more being resurrected than should be.
Yes. And it's being resurrected because the balance is out of whack right now. You'll find out more about all this later.
But wouldn't bad people put the balance out of whack? So there's more shitty people causing things to be out of whack?
Shall we find out?
It's a pendulum swing. Too many good people.
It's nice watching other people just get shut down.
What?
It's cool. Usually it's me who asks the read and find out questions. And this time it was you who got the door slammed in your face. So I'm cool.
I opened the door again. It's fine. I don't care.
Y'all both are messing up these words, though. I was gonna say.
Yeah, you're back. You're like 2 and 2.
What?
It's
I missed
Talon,
something.
not Thalen. His name is Talon.
It's a TH.
Talon. I don't care. I misspell words. It looks better with the H. Leave me alone. His name is Talon. Remember him.
All right. Son of a bitch.
Mina Keen is right.
He got Dimmel.
Dremel. Not Dremel. It's actually Dremel with a brr.
Where was that? I don't even remember that word. Who made that up?
Dremel.
Yeah, Dremel. And Hather. It's not whatever you said. It's Hather.
That's what I said, Hather.
You did not say Hather.
I said Hather.
No, you didn't.
We'll go back to I'll let you know when I go back to edit.
You did say it a little differently. It wasn't vastly different, but you had like a little emphasis on the end or something.
Yeah, something like Hather or something like that.
Damn it. Hather. Maybe that's what I said.
Maybe. What Hather though?
Could have been.
Oh well.
What was the other word I said wrong?
Dremel.
Where the fuck was that word at?
It's highlighted, actually.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
I have ice cream. I have Neapolitan ice cream, y'all. And it is all mixed together. I'm so disappointed. It's not just like in 3 separate, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry.
What kind of monster are you?
I thought I would like it, but it all just turns into chocolate.
I don't even remember saying this word.
You said Dremel.
Okay. Well, moving on.
Now that we're off the history lesson here, the English lesson.
Well, I mean, while we're here, I might as well just ask, is this like Cloud's clan potentially?
Have to find out.
Fucking goddamn it. What about El Asher?
Well, I can tell you what Dremel means. I don't explain what it means until later. It just means magic user.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler. Like, they explain it later. There was just no need to explain it right here.
Wasn't there another term for that? And I'm forgetting what it is already.
The magic user?
Yeah, it's when like Cloud and Nier first met and they're like talking in that cabin.
He may have called himself an Eolan.
That's yes. But those are just people born with magic.
Those are people that they don't have like innate magic, but they still hold a piece of magic. Gotcha. So he doesn't have like all the abilities, but he has specific, like all he can do is teleport. And a fully fledged magic user can do tons of stuff.
Gotcha. So it's like a specific way of identifying group of magic users. Or
yeah, type. I mean, yeah, so Dremel just means magic user. And then, so anybody with magic is basically just considered a Dremel. Just magic user.
What about Elashor?
All we know is Elashor is a necromancer.
Gotcha.
And him and Avalok both know who it is because they, talk about it.
Okay, gotcha. Yes. I remembering that now. Okay, cool.
Glad you remembered that you remembered.
Yes. So when Avalok is like talking, if you expect your idealistic views of justice to keep them from burning down another village or killing more innocent children, then you are mistaken. These people, the ones torturing, raping, and pillaging, they don't fight with honor. They don't respond to prisons or banishment. An eye for an eye is the punishment they deserve. It's the only justice they'll receive. And I was like, holy fucking shit, was that a great fucking sentence, line, statement, whatever you want to call it. It was just so powerful. And then just the quietness in the camp afterwards just severely reflected how I was feeling, as well as like everyone else is feeling. Just jaw dropped to the floor. Like Nier got put in her place.
I think I did a pretty good job delivering that line, if I can toot my own horn.
Yes. I like your second Avalok voice better than
the Batman.
your flouncy French.
I'll try to remember that for next time.
It was funny because after your last line is Avalok, you had it a little Lork at the end.
Yeah.
It was
Did I?
yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, like how is she gonna respond to that? It's kind of the truth. Like these people you can't contain them. You have to stop them. They can't really be stopped.
Right.
Like you can look at the world and you can try to be positive. You can try to see the good in people, but sometimes there just isn't any good in people. And if you want to keep yourself safe, you're gonna have to stop them.
Forgiveness must be denied.
Avalok, I love Avalok. He's got some very he doesn't talk a whole lot, but when he does talk, he says some kind of profound things sometimes.
That's good.
I do like him as a character. Sorry, Justin, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I was done.
No, you weren't. You were saying something, and I just, like a jerk, talked in front of you.
No, I don't remember. It was a very short statement. It's fine. Go ahead.
No, he was saying he was basically finishing his sentence. I love Avalok and his giraffe swords.
They are. Well, we haven't really seen them unleashed yet, have we? Well, when we first met him, he had them out.
Yeah, they don't really look like this either because the veins that have lights are really thin, but the artist couldn't really, make them super thin because then you couldn't see them. So he kind of had to make them bigger. But they're just like super, like almost like Tron Legacy in a way. Like there's really thin strips of light that just kind of like go through stuff, kind of like that. It's like little veins
board,
of light.
right?
Huh?
Like a circuit board?
Kinda. It's just not as like angled, it's just kind of like more like veins going through like a body, and they're very lightly glowing.
You should let me try. I'm very good with organic things.
Do it. I'd love it. I won't pay you though because I'm poor,
That's fine.
but I'll appreciate it.
That's fine. My next thought is just another when Avalok is like, no, you're just as misguided. And just another fucking mic dropped. Just mic drop. Like Nier, I don't know why I get so much satisfaction that she's just getting put in her place. Like it's like, I don't know. It's like somebody talking about something that they think they know a ton about, and then somebody comes in who actually knows what they're talking about and just like shuts them the fuck up.
And the thing too is that we've been following Nier's journey, so we understand. And like when you read her dialogue, you're on her side. But then Avalok comes in, and he's like, "No, actually, you're wrong." And you're like, "Oh, wait a second, hold on." You're like, "Wait a second," So it kind of like mic drops on you at the same time because you're like, "Hold on."
Yeah, I think that's the hard part. Is like I feel like I'm always looking at the perspective. I'm not just like taking it for what it is. Like there's always like a level of questioning for me. So a lot of the things that we've read about Nier so far, I can't say that I've 100% agreed with them. So I don't know. I took a lot of pleasure in her getting put in her place in this chapter.
No, I like that because there are a few people who only can see from the main character's perspective. And anytime anyone, like just now when Avalok kind of puts her in her place, they will disagree with him. And that's fine if you disagree with him. But they disagree with him just for the fact that they can only see from her perspective. And like they'll dislike characters who get mad at her and stuff. And I'm like, well, she's wrong. I like seeing things from everyone's point of view because everybody has like a different perspective on everything. And if we were following like Cloud or Lorik's point of view, we would see things so much differently than Nier sees them, Mm-hmm. So I like to kind of give those little bits and pieces because obviously Avalok is different and he's got a whole different view of how things should be than Nier does.
Well, what I think was genius is that you kept us in Nier's perspective. You didn't take us out of her perspective. So it's almost kind of like it was reminiscent of like when I was getting scolded as a child. Just that like, and not that like that was the intent or anything. That was just my interpretation. Like you didn't take us out of that perspective. You kept us in there, which I think was a very risky is probably a bad way to say it, but like it was a bold thing to keep us there.
Well, and it's kind of going back to what I said, like, we follow Nier and we get to know her perspective, and you kind of lean on that because she's the main character. And then someone else comes in, she's arguing, saying the things that you think because it's what she thinks. But then he's saying stuff and you kind of have to be like I said, he kind of drops the mic on you. And then I wanted the reader to kind of realize there are different perspectives going on here. There's different things. It's not just about what Nier thinks. Like, there's so much more to this world that she doesn't know that I don't know.
Well, and I also appreciate because like I know that I've probably been driving you nuts with these types of content over the last 9 episodes, and you're just like you'll just have to wait and see. Like I don't know, or it could be, very elusive like that. And I think that I appreciate you. At the time, I wasn't very appreciative of it because I wanted to know right now, right at that moment. But I appreciate looking back on it like, okay, yeah, it had a much bigger impact.
Told you. It was out of patience, man. I have a method to my madness.
Fucking patience. I've
been getting a lot of reviews on Curse lately that are kind of 2 or 3 stars. And like, she doesn't explain anything. I don't get to know the characters that well. I'm like, yo, just wait. This is the first book. Just wait. I'm telling y'all. Like, it all comes together.
Right now.
It seems weird to me. Just like, I don't know, maybe it's just like the type of reader I am, but like when I'm reading something, like I just trust it's going to work out. Like if I don't know it now, like, sure, I'll question it, but I'm going to find out at some point, hopefully.
Yeah. As long as it's not confusing, like it can be a mystery and it can kind of be like, why is it doing this? But not like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? As long as it makes sense and you feel like there's an answer coming, then there's probably going to be an answer coming.
That's how I felt reading this.
It keeps you reading because you want to figure out, you want the answers to those questions. If you got all the answers right away, you wouldn't want to keep reading because why? Like you already have all the answers you want.
Right. Yep.
That's what keeps me reading anyway when I do wind up reading. Like,
you read like the ABC book, HC is what I've gathered. That's what you have the patience to read, I think.
Letters on the alphabet.
Oh, look, she's singing again.
Yay!
My angelic voice. The boot scoot boogie.
Nobody was begging for me to sing again, and I understand that. So.
Also in the collector's edition, at the end of chapter 19, I wrote out the page that Lorik is writing to Nier in his notebook.
So okay, I guess I saw that, but so Justin did not see that in his
because you won't open it.
Version.
Oh,
so that's just not in the paperback version at all.
No,
this is just the collector. So in the collector's edition of Curse of the Fallen, there are 6 or 7 pages out of Lorik's journal. And after this chapter, when Nier asks him what he's writing, and he's writing basically a porno about Avalok and Nier, and she tells him to mark it out, I actually wrote out everything he's writing, and then at the end, I marked out the part that Nier told him to mark out. So this is...
And that was really hard to read with the line through it.
It's just what
I was able to read it. Well, I know, but just like the script with the line through it was difficult to read. So how did you do that for the book? Like, did you hand write that?
I just used a font, just a handwriting font.
That is a font? Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's entry 108, date unknown, location Galatia.
Will you read it for our audience?
Sure. I don't remember what it says, so we'll see if my face turns red or not.
Galatia, right?
Galatia.
It's Galatia.
Galatia, got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
My pronunciation's flawless.
Oh, and entry 108 is a homage to my favorite show, Lost, because 108 is their number. So this is
a good show.
Love that show. So this is entry 108 in his journal. The date is unknown. Location, Galatia.
Galatia? That's what I heard.
The white-haired assassin storms valiantly from the depths of the putrid docks. Fear not, fair maiden, he called with his sword raised high, for it is I, the brave and noble elf, come to take ye away, far from the dithers and trifles of the foul-smelling beasts of the human lands. Her knees buckled at the sight of him. Even though he weren't too fair to look at, he was different, And that's really all that matters. The beautiful raven-haired mistress fought valiantly against the bloodthirsty assassin. I can't read this either.
Yeah, it's hard to read.
It's hard to read. Her something was something. Her voice was loud as she told him to go back from where he came from, and they fell into a light squabble, which soon ended with his hands on her hips. She leaned forward and pressed her lips to his, enjoying the taste of his tongue and then she took the notebook away and made him mark it all out.
It's like, I imagine it's like one of those cheesy romance novels you see at like the checkout line of the grocery store, you know? Like Fabio on the front of it or some shit.
Basically.
Can't believe it's not butter.
Oh my god. So that was Lorik's story of how Nier and Avalok met.
Interesting.
That's what he wanted to tell the world.
It's funny because you led right into my trap. So is Lork just is Lork just doing this to be like, I don't even know what the terminology is, like haughty, because he is still somewhat in love with her, and so like, is this his like weird way of like remembering that she'll never like him in that way again? Or I guess why would he do this? I'm really struggling to understand why he would do that if he's so in love with her enough to write and sing in front of everybody this very sweet ballad that he wrote. Like, it seems like you have a very sensitive guy who's actually very thoughtful and considerate, and then you get to this and he's just a fucking asshole.
This?
Yeah. Like,
why would this make him an asshole?
It just, I don't know. It doesn't. Why would he write about her falling in love with anybody else but him?
Well, because Lorik, I'm going to leave that to the reader to decide. But for me, Lorik knows him and Nier are friends. He's not trying to get with her. He doesn't fantasize about being with her. He loves her. He cares about her. But he knows they're never going to be together. So he's not just drooling over her every second of the day, fantasizing over what could have been. Also, he's a bard. And he needs to write stories, and he knows that people don't like Nier because of her magic. So his job in doing all of this and being with her is to try to write about her stories in a way that get people to see her as something more than just a demon. So he's just writing a story, and if he's going to write one, he's going to write one that people are going to like. And he even said in the dialogue, "This is romance. It's what people love. It's what people want." So. That's, he, gotcha. I mean, you can, whenever you read his note, you can hear the jealousy, even though he wasn't too good to look at, he was different. And that's all that matters. So you can still hear the jealousy in his note if you read, the collector's part, but he explains that he's just doing it because this is what people like. And that's what he's here for, is to get people to like her.
That's interesting. Cause I guess when I read it, I didn't remember picking up any like jealous feelings, but
you can only get the jealousy like in this note, in the excerpt from it, because all this isn't written in the book.
Well, I'm reading the collector's edition. That's what I have.
Yeah,
but
so I read that. I read that note, but I guess I don't remember feeling that way about it.
I mean, and like I said, it's all just interpretation too.
Gotcha.
Right.
So in this current moment in time, is he still pining after her in some way, shape, or form?
I would say no.
No. So then the whole singing in the Veda, no, not Veda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Veda? Yeah. The whole singing in Veda when she got patched up by Corin. What was that all about? Because that felt really heartfelt for me as a reader.
To me, the song is called Veda, and it's about Nier before, she got transformed into all this, basically when they first met, who she used to be. And I mean, the story insinuates that her and Lorik did have some kind of past together, and it just didn't work. To me, and like I said, this is all up to interpretation. I never say it in the book, so you can all feel however you want to feel. Just to me, if I was reading it, I would say Lorik is still in love with Nier. I'd say that he still cares a lot about her. I would say that he likes to think about the way that they used to be, but he knows they're not going to be. He knows that they're just friends. He doesn't try to get with her. Like I said, he's not pining after her. He's in love with her, but it's never going to happen. so he's accepted it. And him singing that song was just kind of something to help her feel better because it's a song that everybody loves, everybody knows, but it's also kind of like their secret because she is Veda. So it's just kind of like something between them.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I can get by that. At face value, I didn't see that, but gotcha.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't because you didn't know she was Veda.
That's fair. I did not know she was Veda. I did not put that together.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Recalling
Call
me.
the ambulance.
Yep. Well, all right. Well, I'm good to move on. I feel like I've talked at length.
No, this is going to be a long episode.
Well, I mean, we're already at an hour and we haven't even finished. We haven't even
started.
Derek's thing yet. So,
all right, let's go.
I think my chapter was longer than yours, too.
Oh, good Lord.
It was.
HC, would you like to do the epigraph on this? For chapter 20, The Legends of War?
I've seen the ashes of war, and I know its sorrow and pain. Don't delude yourself. Even those who survive are forever changed, haunted by the ghosts of the men they've slain. Master Ryman.
I like that epigraph. I think it's probably like, as somebody who's never been in a fight, let alone some sort of battle, I could only imagine, what somebody had to go up against. I'm sure they are forever changed and haunted by whatever they had to do.
Even if like people are coming at you, like they're people, like you still can't. And back then when you had to use like swords, it's so much more personal. It's not just like a gun across the field,
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. All right, here we go.
All right.
The group of best friends that could ever be packed up their stuff, and Lorik remarked at what a beautiful morning it was. Great morning we're having. Clear skies, warm breeze, 2 questionable elves, and Leroth's most wanted riding horseback together.
You forgot to mention the most famous, noisy, perverse bard.
While you 3 are fighting and bucking up to one another, I'm focused on the beauty of this situation.
The beauty.
That's right. Just picture it. The world's most feared and rejected sorceress, fallen for a mysterious and dangerous elf. There's drama and tension and romance. It's the perfect love story. It's why I'm here, ain't it? To write stories and to make the world see magic users as more than demons crawling through the night. Near rolled her eyes and shook her head.
So having me lay with an enemy will change their minds.
It's poetic, Neri. It'll give you both some humanity, emotions.
If you write about me touching anyone else in that way again, I will take that quill and shove it up your...
Got it. Come on, Cloud. The lady's getting antsy. Better get a move on ya.
Why are you talking like that?
What are you talking about?
Better get a move on ya. Emotions,
I'm just getting into it. I'm having fun here. Leave me alone.
It's Gilly. Come back.
Yeah, but he's like Dutch. Better get a move on ya.
I am not.
I'm sorry, Dutch people. I know that's probably not how your accent at all.
Avelic approached near, and they gave each other an uneasy glance. She looked at the saddle and asked if she could ride with Lorik. He told her that she can ride with Cloud, but Lorik would be walking because if he rode with him, he would have to kill him. Near said he wouldn't touch him. They looked over at Lorik as he talked loudly while Cloud controlled the horse. Near could tell how annoyed he was by the look in his eyes and knew she couldn't argue any further. She had grown used to Lorik's constant speaking over the years, but in the beginning of things, she felt as Avelic now did, and only told him that it wasn't a reason to kill Lorik. She climbed onto the saddle with Avelic and said they needed to take the road, as the hillside was too dangerous by horse. They didn't need to worry about the people in Porsdur, but whoever they may meet on the road. Anyone suspected they were Eve, it would be trouble.
I thought Eve were accepted here.
Only those we know, and even then you're treated as second class. Just stay on your guard. Follow the path and speak to no one. If you find anyone bearing odd symbols or cloaks of white and gold, avoid them at all costs.
They set off on their miserable journey. The sun continued to rise, and Near was exhausted, her skin starting to burn under the afternoon sun. She heard horse hooves behind her, and when she looked, it was 2 priests of the order. She pulled up her hood and did Avelic's as well. He tried to ask her what she was doing, and she told him that they needed to casually get off the road. Reluctantly, he complied. As they took a bend in the road, he led the horse down an overgrown path. Lorik directed Cloud to do the same. As the group of best friends hid in the bushes, they watched the priests ride by, looking deeply into the woods for the riders they had just lost sight of. Lorik said now might be a good time for a break, as the priests would likely be waiting up the road for them. That, and he could use a break from the sun. They tied up the horses, and Nir took a drink from her canteen. She eyed Avelik, and he dug through the saddlebags. He gave her a nasty snarl before turning away. She sat next to Lorik, and he gave her a smile as he shared some of his bread and jerky. What's the order doing here?
Scouting. I'm sure my use of magic in Smedderland has brought them here.
Oh, yeah. Fucking else. This is our land. We've earned it. We took it right out from under their pompous little noses.
Yeah, well, apparently the elves feel the same way. Cloud said a man called Nasir is leading his people here because they want to reclaim their land.
That's different. The Great War happened centuries ago. It isn't our fault that we still live here. Avelik and Cloud approached the campsite. Cloud asked what was said about the elves. Nir said she was telling Lorik about Nasir invading because he wanted to reclaim Lyroth for the Eve. What do you know of the Sikh Norai?
Of what?
The final war between our people. The one that saw the Eve cast from our land into the forest.
It doesn't matter what I know. What matters is that our people have been living separately since your defeat. Me, my parents, their parents, none of us were involved in the Great War. Why should we be punished for the crimes of our ancestors? Why should your people pillage and murder for a chance to reclaim what belonged to those long dead?
Why should yours? Nir turned away, and the argument had come to a close. She wasn't surprised that Avelik thought humans were at fault for the Great War, since the humans had won. It was their history that was commonly known. However, her time in Bob, she had learned both sides of the story. She knew that the elves believed humans had invaded and cast them out for their own power and greed, while the humans blamed the elves' racism and manipulation, blah, as the cause for their exile. Nir still felt as though she walked on eggshells around Avelik.
We don't have to like each other, but if you're going to be around, you could at least try showing some kindness.
Would you show kindness to the Eve that murdered those innocent boys? Or to the ones who ravaged those villages and killed dozens of innocent lives? I have no reason to trust or to be kind to your people, Lanithess.
But you do have reason to trust me.
You think that because you saved me that I owe you my trust?
You owe me your kindness. Is it really that hard for you?
My people have always shown kindness to yours, and they've always been betrayed.
Cloud isn't as hostile as you. He trusts me pretty well.
Cloud has not lived through what I have. He hasn't seen the dismembered bodies of innocent villagers lying in the forest, the women that were raped, or the children that were tortured. He hasn't seen the men that were skinned alive just for being Eve. Cloud lives like most of my people, in a world of good intentions and forgiveness.
And you don't.
I can't. Nir glanced at Cloud cautiously. The conversation ended and the tension between them was unbearable. Their races held a hostile and distrustful at best, but to know that humans had been invading and destroying their lands made Nir exceptionally angry. Eventually enough time had passed, and Nir said they should get a move on again. Lorik said they should wait a bit longer. Nir said if they tried to ambush them, they'd be ready, and nobody would care about a couple dead priests and Lynn. She untied her horse and started down the overgrown path with the rest of the crew in tow, back towards the high road. They rode in silence, though Nir wanted to speak and apologize to Avelik, though she didn't know what she would say, and that it was likely he wouldn't believe her anyways. They had reached a faded signpost and a destroyed community.
This is it? Porsdur? Oh, well, my bad. My bad.
Way to fuck it up.
Cloud!
I'm looking at two screens here.
What was that, Cloud? How did you know that?
Avish intuition.
Yep.
Nice save, nice save.
Yep, this is my home. It's hidden beneath the illusion of a destroyed village. It's actually quite beautiful inside.
Why is it hidden?
Well, shouldn't you know with your Avish intuition?
I didn't think that far ahead.
Well, if you must know, the most notorious brotherhood can't live out in the open, can we? The order would just be on our doorstep in a second.
That makes sense.
Nice job, guys.
Good improv.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. She looked over the land before her, the Everett Mountains in the distance, and a small river that Lorik didn't piss made its way along the high road to the city.
We don't know that.
It was a happy sight to see her adopted home again, while a passerby would only see ruins. She reminded the others to be mindful of travelers. There will still be more as they approach the pass. Avelik hid his face while they passed some travelers. Near held herself tighter to him, closed her eyes, and laid her head on his back. Fear gripped her at the thought of being caught. If she was recognized, or the elves were, it could end up with the order showing up at her doorstep. Avelik asked what she was doing, and she explained this was the easiest way to hide without being suspicious. He sneered and adjusted himself. The horses went over a stone arch bridge and were at the outskirts of a seemingly destroyed town of Porsdur. She made her way inside the village to a tavern and told the others to wait outside. As she made her way inside, she found Benjamin at the bar.
Nirvana, good to see you again. What's it been? 6, 7 months now?
Has it? Feels like a lifetime.
How you been, you old git?
Seen better days, Benny.
Ah, hells, haven't we all? You looking for a drink?
Actually, I'd like a key to the back room.
This was a coded message to her old friend. While the bar named Millie's gave the impression of a tavern, it was actually an establishment of Bob going back to their creation decades ago. It had been a source of income and trade for the rebellion and one of the gates into the hidden city.
Seeing yourself home, are you? What about the Outriders?
The outsider. What's an
Those
outsider?
Outriders.
I could have swore, I don't have my book on me. I could have swore it said Outriders. Maybe
I hope it doesn't.
I'm a little dyslexic sometimes.
How do you...
I've got eyes and ears all over this place.
They're with me.
I'm not sure the others will take kindly to their being in the city gates.
Why do you have like a southern accent?
I don't know. It just happens. Just leave me alone.
All these morphing voices.
The key, please.
Benjamin nodded and went to the wall with the keys on it. Though it wasn't actually a key he was looking for, he grabbed a potion and while looking around quick, he gave it to Near. She thanked him and said it was good to have her back home. They collected their belongings at the stable and Cloud and Avelik followed Near and Lorik. There were 2 armored guards at the gate. She regarded them by name, Forrest and Raymond. They did not move. She waited until there were no other travelers around before splashing the potion on the gate. It faded, and the true village was visible inside.
Nirvana!
Welcome back, Gilly. Gil came with his arms wide open. She knelt and hugged him.
How are you, child? Did the road treat you well?
Fairly. There's much to discuss, Gil. Shall we go inside?
Wouldn't have it any other way. You look like shite. Boy, get on home and wash up.
I'll have you know, I've been through hells and back. We can't all turn into a raven and fly into the sunset.
Steal with the wine and now get on home
Stop.
before I know.
So say stop. It's
I know.
Theo.
I'm just rolling with it.
Stop it.
There you go.
I'm just reading what I'm told to say, you know?
Theo with the
All right, I'm going to remember that, Justin. I will remember that.
All right. Stop with the wine and now get on home before I turn you into a giant beast and rip the skull from your neck.
Okay, then. Lorik stomped off, and Gil said someday he would grow a backbone. Near told him he would be surprised at how often he stood his ground. They wandered through town and old memories until they reached a house with a porch and a willow tree that shaded it. She found the hidden spare key and opened the house and let everyone inside. Cloud and Avelik stayed in the entryway while Near changed from her dirty clothes into clean ones.
You want to tell me what you're doing with a couple of Eve?
The taller one with the spear is a magic user. He saved Lorik and me from a spindra. We found the angry one laid down in Glacier. They're setting off to the trials too.
Wait a second. You haven't completed the trials?
No, the entrance was sealed.
Sealed? How in the world could it be sealed?
Cloud believes it isn't the true entry. He thinks the Enclave only intended for those worthy enough for the trials to know its true coordinates.
And you're saying these 2 are on their way to the trials too?
Mm-hmm.
Near nodded.
Seems rather convenient, don't you think?
Maybe it's fated. We saved Avalok that day in Vleland, if you don't recall. You patched him up with Traveron.
Ah, I remember.
What sort of odds would bring us together again? What else but fate would have Cloud save us, only to find he's also seeking the trials?
Fate's a tricky thing, Nia. Many people have deluded themselves into believing a coincidence is fate, only to find themselves in a right bit of trouble.
Was it not fate that brought me here to the Brotherhood? Would you call Lorik singing every night at the Sword and Sheath a wretched place he would only go because he was traveling and needed the coin? A coincidence. Look at where it has brought us. This is fate, Gil. I know it.
Just watch yourself, child.
I know. If anything happens, I still have my magic.
If you haven't stepped foot in the caves, then why have you returned home with these divine, awful Eve? They smell like me wife's chamber pot after a hot summer's day.
They aren't that bad. We just needed a rest, and I wanted to check in on you and speak to Ryman.
Afraid you just missed him. Old lad has headed north with the soldiers. Apparently the order's been barging into Lynn as of late. Already burned down Ragisted and Larpin. The rebellion's losing hope.
He's going to fight the order.
That and help rebuild what's been lost. If they keep at it, they'll soon be at our gates. We've been losing followers left and right. If we aren't careful, then we'll fall right back into their hands.
Seems we all have our own jobs to do.
That's right. But don't worry, child. He believes in you, just as I do.
She gave a half smile, wishing for his words to be true, and regretting that the fate of the country was heavy on her shoulders alone.
That didn't take too long.
I like that chapter a lot.
Yeah, it was a nice homecoming.
Yeah, and like I told y'all, Gil, he wasn't supposed to be a recurring character. He was just kind of in the beginning. But whenever people read that book, when people read the book, they were like, is Gil coming back? When they all separated, they're like, you have to bring Gil back. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't have any plans for it. And so they made me bring him back. So here he is. He's back. Yay! You can thank everyone for making him a recurring character.
Yay. Thank you,
His
everybody.
dialogue is so hard. So I did not want him to be a recurring character, but he's awesome. So he is.
I think you pulled it off well. I mean, for him not being in the story for the last, 150-ish so pages? Well, no. I don't, well, 100-ish.
Whatever the page count is.
Whatever
Yeah.
chapter
Feels like
it was that he
150
left. I think it was at the end of chapter 6 is when he left. So,
Yeah, we're on 19 or 20.
right.
20.
So it kind of feels like he picked up where he left off. I didn't feel like, oh, this isn't the Gil that I remembered or anything like that. So I'm surprised I still remembered his voice, but
Sort of. You
Yeah,
kind of went off a little bit there.
It did sound a little different.
It was good, though. It was good. It was really high pitched and good.
yeah, it was a little better. I've learned.
Now, Benjamin, his voice, I don't know what you're doing with that guy.
We didn't talk about it. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just go.
I'm glad you just went for it. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be Benjamin. It had to be Benjamin.
Benjamin. So in this chapter, Benjamin is actually my nephew's name, and I call him Benny. He's 2. His birthday's in a few days. And then Millie is my niece. So they're named after them. And then Raymond is my granddad, and Forrest is my brother-in-law. So I have like a bunch of little like names sprinkled in there.
Oh, gotcha. I was kind of wondering about those two because I don't think you said anything in your author notes about those two.
No, and in Nier's prequel novella that I'm going to do, it's going to show her and Lorik. It's going to kind of be like their misadventures around the time they met, I guess, and it leads up into book 1. And in that novella, I'm going to have Raymond and Forrest, and you're going to find out that they're actually not people at all. They're just like scarecrowy, sort of like, armor full of stuff to make people think that they have guards, but they really don't. So that's why she looks at them and says their names, and she kind of like smirks at herself because she knows they're not actually like really guards, but she's given them names. So that's why like they just stay there and they. So it's kind of like it's going to kind of play back into her prequel whenever I write it, which is why I added
Nice.
it. In
Got to
Well,
plant those
everything
seeds. Garden and dig it there, HC.
there. That doesn't really matter, but it all like connects. I want everything to kind of connect back to each other somehow.
Well, it's that stuff's fun. Like, I mean, I don't know that. Obviously, you just kind of told us about it, but if you didn't, I don't know that I would have picked up on it.
Oh no, there's
At the
stuff like
point
that all
in time
throughout.
when you write that book.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that you won't pick up on unless I tell you or you really pay attention. But there's all kinds of like Talon. He's a character in the next book, but I say his name one time in this first book. In Elishore, he comes into book 4 or 5, and I say his name one time. So it's like little tiny things that like all connect from the beginning, but you may not notice it. but it's there.
Fair.
Gotcha.
One of the things that I thought about on my reread was, and it reminded me of you talking about your prequel in past episodes. Are there, I guess, is there, or do you plan on having a discussion about the A rune and how they come to find out where it was held?
So, I mean, I haven't really thought that much into it, but probably my intentions, and again, this could change, it's just my intentions for Nier's prequel are to be basically around the time her and Lorik meet. So, like, she's like 14, and it's going to be her journey from 14 all the way up into the beginning of Curse of the Fallen. So, everything that happens from the time she meets him until then. And obviously the rune's going to have to come into that at some point because she's looking for it with him. So they're probably going to go on this whole adventure looking for the rune because she's been looking for it for 4 years when this book starts. So most likely, yes, it will probably go into much more detail. You'll probably learn a lot more. Like you're going to see her studying with Ryman, her training to fight with him, all the little stories she tells throughout this book that her and Lorik go through in their past. Like you'll see a lot of that.
Or teachings of the creatures of darkness.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really know what the creatures of darkness are because Cloud just kind of told her what they were, like how they'd come to be. Yeah, you'll see a lot of everything that she basically goes through from the time she is introduced to the Brotherhood until Curse of the Fallen. So you'll learn a whole lot about the world. You'll learn a whole lot about the structure of the Brotherhood, more than probably you would know throughout the main series because, you know, you're going to be learning with Nier as she goes through it.
Fair enough.
Anyways.
Anyway.
I've got a few points here. My first one, so Nier asks to ride with Lorik, and then Avelak tells her that she can ride with Cloud. But Lorik would have to walk because if he rode with him, he'd kill him. I was a little confused because, like, if she wanted to ride with Lorik, why didn't he just let her, and then he wouldn't have to ride with him and try to kill him?
Because of
I guess because Lorik, or I guess because Cloud. Oh my God, Avalok does not want to ride with Cloud because that's pretty close proximity on a horse, and they're both bigger than Lorik and Nier, so it'd be much more uncomfortable. And Avalok probably wants him and Cloud to be the ones that are in charge and steering the horses instead of Nier and Lorik. That's my interpretation. Is that he's like, well, you can ride with Cloud. I'm not riding with Lorik, and you're not riding with Lorik, so that's your only other option.
Gotcha. All right. I was just kind of confused, but I'm like, well, like, if she wants to ride, like, who fucking cares? Just.
I mean, I kind of took it like this. He doesn't really trust them, so he doesn't really want them just like off on their own.
I guess that makes sense.
And it's also much more uncomfortable.
Me being all trusting and naive and stuff.
Well, you know, Avalok is not that way. Although, I don't think, Avalok wouldn't really want to be riding with another guy for one. And for two, Lorik, he's like 5'9", Nier is like 5'7", and Avalok and Cloud are both like 6 feet tall. So they're much bigger than the other two. So it just makes sense to have equal weight instead of 2 6-foot tall dudes on a horse. They just need to equal out the weight. That'd be really uncomfortable on a saddle.
Maybe it's like a Budweiser Clydesdale, and it doesn't matter how big they are. I don't know.
Maybe. I got yelled at by one of my readers for saying that the horses weren't being ridden properly. So I tried to do it properly. Okay. I'm like, who cares? Apparently she did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're not kidding about that?
Not kidding about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get yelled at about a lot of things in my books, but a lot of things I'm just like, it's a book. I don't care.
Yeah, chill the hell out.
It's fantasy, people. Like, as long as it's believable, then I can have 2 people riding on a horse. It's fine. Have you never seen Lord of the Rings? It happens.
I just
Brokeback Mountain. I think 2 guys rode on a horse there, right?
Where? What?
Brokeback Mountain.
No.
Wish I knew how to quit you. Yeah.
Never watched that movie.
I've only heard quotes, but I thought it was. I interpreted it as Nier was still like a little pissed off at the perverse writing that Lorik had written. That's what I had in my head canon as to why she didn't want to ride with him. But
no, she wanted to ride. Oh, didn't want to ride with Avalok?
Right.
I don't know. She just wanted to ride with Lorik. She didn't want to ride with. She doesn't like Avalok, so she doesn't want to be stuck on a horse with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she got put in her place quite a bit in these 2 chapters, so I can only imagine.
I love Avalok. Like the things he says, you don't have to agree with him. They're just so profound. Like you got to at least respect what he thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got a good reason for thinking what he thinks.
For
Yeah.
sure. I'm totally team eBay.
Yeah. eBay, pretty cool. Love me some Avalok.
My next thought, you wrote, and I might have worded it a little bit differently. I don't know if I took this word from the book, but they set off on their miserable journey. Why was it miserable? They had a nice morning. They got horses to ride. They don't have to, hoof it themselves. They got a horse. Like, why was it miserable?
Well, just because Lorik doesn't think that it's not miserable doesn't mean it's not miserable. She was already kind of griping with him, and she has to ride with Avalok all day, who she clearly does not want to be around. So,
gotcha. So it's just a perspective thing that I clearly didn't pick up on.
yeah.
You know that book, Alexander and the Horrible, Terrible, Rotten Day or whatever?
I think
No.
I've heard of it. It's like a kid book.
Yeah. I'm sure I screwed up the title, but you should, like, as something funny, make like a 10-page book about her terrible, horrible, miserable journey.
Oh my god. That'd be fun. I'll get somebody to animate it and have little stick figures of Nier and Avalok. Lorik with his
Hey,
loops.
there's probably a guy that could do that here now.
Hey, I could draw some stick figures.
That's not me.
My next point, so Nasir or the Nasir, we've seen it both ways. Sometimes he's called the Nasir, sometimes he's just called Nasir. So it makes me wonder, is that like a title or a name, or is it both?
It's more like a title. It's kind of like a nickname, title-y sort of thing. They usually call him the Nasir, and Nier calls him Nasir because she doesn't really know like the translations. She just knows Nasir, so she's just telling him Nasir. She says it wrong, basically.
Okay. Well, the fact that it was different, like, it caught my attention.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there was something else there or not.
No, it's just her dialogue. I just wanted it to be a little different because they're saying it in Avish and she's telling Lorik in English, so it's gonna not be completely accurate.
Gotcha. Okay. Another thought I've had is about the Great War, and I'm wondering if you've thought about like a prequel or some sort of novella about the Great War.
No.
Cool. Love one-word answers. All right.
I hate wars and battles, and that would mean I would have to create all new characters and all new everything, and that's just a lot of work. I'd rather write a whole new series if I was going to do all that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Obviously, there was a 50-50 answer on that in my head, but I wasn't expecting you to say that you'd rather write a whole new series.
Yeah, to do the Great War, I'm going to explain a lot about it in the series, so you're already going to know a whole lot about it anyway, but I don't want there to be answers. Like, I don't want you to know whose side is wrong and right. I kind of want that all to be, you learn what you learn, and you come up with your own interpretation and your own series along with the characters. But that would also, if I did that, that was a long time ago. So yeah, it would be like creating a whole new series. And I already have other series that I'd rather work on.
Gotcha. I think that would be cool, but
maybe
if
someday.
It's not something you're willing to do, then there's nothing wrong with that either.
You can just write a fanfic about it. It's all right. I won't mind.
Maybe once your series is done, I might contemplate that. And then you can read it and throw it in the garbage.
I won't read it and I won't throw it in the garbage.
Well, if you don't read it, it's just as good as the garbage then.
Let's give it an A+. Send it on.
I did not summarize this part very well at all, but where you're talking about the horses going over the Stone Arch Bridge and the outskirts of this destroyed village and all this and that, I got really big Lord of the Rings vibes from your description of the village of Porsdur. It just reminded me of the Shire a lot, and I thought that was really cool. It was just really good. I liked it a lot. So
thank you.
I just wanted to point that out.
It wasn't actually based on the Shire. If anyone's ever played Skyrim, it was actually Winterhold. No, the middle one. Oh God, what's it called? Winterhold? No, Whiterun. That's it. There's too many W names. It was actually Whiterun, basically written in a book.
Oh, okay.
So, I cannot come up with cities sometimes, and I love Whiterun, and if I could live anywhere, I would live in Whiterun. Not anywhere, but anywhere. Skyrim is where I would live. So I just kind of based it off of that.
Well, I really enjoyed just your description of the city itself, village, city, whatever you want. It was really good, and I liked it, and I wanted to highlight that.
Thank you.
The splashing the potion on the gate as the key, I thought that was a really cool idea instead of just having like a skeleton key or something. Just a neat, different spin on it. I thought that was really cool.
Thanks. I tried doing something different because it's a city in an illusion, I didn't want there to just be like you press on it or you have to like knock on it. I tried thinking of something different and wanted to bring the potions back. So I thought it would kind of be a little cool, a little different.
Yeah, it worked really well. I thought that was very cool. And again, very different. And I mean, at least in the limited amount of books that I've read, not something I've seen before. So I thought that was fun and it was neat.
It's very unique to me
You
because
should
I don't
have
read any
one
books,
where
so
it's
I've
like
never
an
read that
interpretive
before.
dance, and the motion and follow through of like the hands and legs like whips away the illusion.
Yeah, you have to like do the whole
Right,
thing like
yes,
this, and when you touch the
exactly.
door, the magic ripples through the door. Unlocks it.
Justin, you will have to record that video of you doing that interpretive dance.
Sure.
Okay.
It would just end up looking like a white boy dance. All I know how to do is write my name with my ass. That's about it.
And the disco.
Mhm.
All right. That's enough of that.
You
Sorry,
don't want to see
Justin.
me write my name with my ass?
No, not
Okay,
really.
All right.
Maybe another time.
I can write in cursive.
I mean, I'm getting a little buzzed, but I'm not that
Oh,
buzzed,
okay,
Justin.
well, we'll see. We'll get you.
And my last thought here, where Near says she wanted to check in on Gil. I guess I don't remember. Did we know that Gil was going to Porsdur from before?
Because that's his home.
Was it his home?
Yes.
I think that it says in this chapter that he doesn't live in Porsdur, but he lives near it because he doesn't want anyone to know where his family lives to protect them. Is that mentioned in this chapter? It's mentioned in one of these chapters. But Porsdur is like the central hub for the Brotherhood.
Okay. I could not remember if we knew that's where he was going or was going to be at, or if he lived around there at all.
I don't know, but it wasn't said that where his home is, but whenever they get to Porsdur and she says we're checking in on you, it kind of tells you that this is where his home is. That was my interpretation anyway when I wrote it. But I'm pretty sure I also said somewhere, I don't know if it was in this chapter, but it's in one of the chapters that I don't think Near has ever met his wife or anything. Because
I do remember that.
Yeah, Porsdur is like the main hub of the Brotherhood. So Near lives there, but Gil doesn't have a house in Porsdur, but he is there enough that it's still like his home because he's integrated pretty deeply into the Brotherhood. So even if he wasn't there, they could have gotten somebody to go and get him and bring him there.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I mean, at the end of chapter 6 when he leaves, I always thought in my mind that's where he was going, was back home,
So, yeah, it's like where they all live.
Yeah.
It's obviously fresher in your mind, Justin, if you just reread things. It's obviously like I haven't, so wasn't me trying to be a smart ass. I just didn't remember.
I just didn't have anything to read. I mean, I plowed through two Redwall books while we were in a hiatus there. So I was just like,
Did you guys sign up for the Advent of Winter thing to get all of those ebooks from all the people? Well, I'll send you mine if you didn't, because you got to read my short story. It's really good.
I did, but I will probably not read it until I get a physical book, just because I don't really want to. When I see shit on Twitter for like a free ebook and stuff, like I'll get it, but I don't like reading ebooks.
Well, you got to read mine, though. He's doing one ebook a day. Mine's going to be on December 3rd. So it's coming out in a couple days.
Oh, okay. I was curious if you knew when yours would be coming out. So obviously you do.
Yep, we got to pick our day. So I picked the 3rd because it's my sister's birthday, but also I figured by like the closer we get to the holidays, the less excited people are going to be about it because they're already going to have like 15 ebooks, you know what I'm saying? And then the holidays are getting closer and then they've already got all these other ebooks. They're going to start to lose interest. So I try to get mine in quick so people still have interest in it.
Well, I will make a point to read yours. I will probably not read the others till I get the actual physical book sometime. And I think it sounds like March from what I'd seen is when it sounds like it'll be arriving.
I think so. And mine is only 5,000 words, which would be around like 20 pages of a book.
Oh, this is the hell story you were talking about, right?
It's so good. Even if y'all don't think it's good, you have to tell me that it's good because I'm really excited about it.
All right, we can do that. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's good.
That was all my thoughts on the chapter. Let me just finish my beer here.
I like these chapters. I like that the elves are within the group now, and we have like our plot, and we're finally like really moving forward with the whole plot. Like, you know, you met Avalok in the beginning, and you didn't know who he was, and now he's back in the story. We have Cloud, who is also going to the trials because he needs to save Azael, who is cursed by the Nazir. The Nazir is invading with the Cleotil, who are elves. They are invading the human territory right now. We don't know why, but I mean, we know that they want to take back their land, obviously. But Avalok was chasing the Nazir because he wants, I guess, to avenge Azael. And then you have Lorik and Nier, who are going off to cure her curse. And they all just kind of come together in this crazy little convoluted storyline. And now they're finally all together, and now they can get what they need to do and go to Havsgard and get to the trials.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what's going to come up next. So
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to read on.
For both of our,
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, moving on, getting more information, seeing what happens next, and then talking about it again.
Yeah, a lot of people say the book gets a lot better and the pacing kind of evens out after Avalok comes into the story. They say the book really like starts getting really good after that. So we'll see what y'all think. Obviously, Avalok's awesome, so of course the book's going to be better when he's in it.
mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know if we've asked this yet, but who is Avalok your favorite character in the first book?
I don't have to think about it. Yes, I love Avalok. Some people don't love him, and I just block them.
You're just wrong.
I'm just kidding. More for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. I would say that he very quickly became my favorite character. So before it was Cloud, and I'm pretty sure it's Avalok.
I like Avalok and Cloud a lot. And I like, some people don't appreciate how they came into the story. Like how, especially Avalok, how he was out of the story. He came in, then he went out, and then he came in again. But I kind of like that. I like that their stories are just like all over the place, but then they all just kind of come together sort of in the middle of the book. And they all, to me, obviously, it all makes sense because they all have their own things to do. And there's so many different plot lines and so many different things that they're all doing. And they all just wind up coming together. I don't know. I like it. It's better than him just joining the party from chapter 5 and being with them from the beginning.
Right. And I feel like it also adds that little extra bout of mystery. But at the same time, like if you really think about it, I mean, Avalok is essentially a couple of steps ahead of Nier, the Lorik and Cloud. Really, their journey is kind of the same, but we just don't hear about one's perspective because he's off on his own, you know?
Yeah, and he's doing something like he's looking for the Nazir, and he also doesn't like humans. So why would he have joined Nier when he first met? Like he did not want to be around her. That's why he left.
Right.
He's like, I'm doing what I have to do. I don't care what you're doing. I don't want to be around you. And then Cloud comes and convinces him that we need you. Stop being dumb and join us.
Right.
Like, stop going around killing all these people. You get yourself killed. Avalok's a little cynical.
Power in numbers.
Eep.
Jup.
Well, anything else, guys?
Not that I can think of.
I'm hungry.
It is past supper time. You're at like Taco Bell levels here, HC. It's fourth meal time.
I woke up at 2:00 this afternoon, so it's about dinner time for me.
What the fuck? I was
Only been up for
almost had a
7.5
full day of
hours.
work at that time.
Hey, listen, being unemployed has its advantages, people. I can do what I want when I want.
True.
I don't got any kids, no responsibilities. I'm living the life right now
Jealous.
while I can. I did have an interview today, but I'm living the life while I can. I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. My power might get turned off, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
The awkward silence.
I don't know. What do you say to that? Shitty situation, but you'll get through it.
Take the hint, people.
Buy some
Buy
books.
Hey, I've sold 410 books this month.
Just this month?
So not bad.
Damn.
I don't know. Last month it was like 530 or something like that.
Well, that's got to be
So-
I mean, that's good, right? Are they majority the new book, or is it like a mixture of the first and second one?
It's all kind of even, actually. I feel like everybody's buying like the full series. So I think most of it is Curse, but it's not. Curse is like maybe like 10 a day, and then the other two are like 4 a day or something. It's like all pretty much even.
Is
ebooks, physical books, a mix there too?
It's mostly ebooks. I mean, I don't think a lot of authors sell a lot of paperbacks, which, to be honest, paperbacks are expensive and people can't afford to buy a bunch of paperbacks because I have to sell mine. Curse of the Fallen is $11.99 and I only make $1 off of that. So that's literally the lowest that I can price it and still make something off of it. So they're expensive. And, if you like books, you're not going to be throwing $10, $20 at every book you want,
I do.
Yeah, I will too, because I want the physical book.
A lot of people, a lot of indie authors especially, we sell more ebooks than anything.
Makes sense.
I mean, I guess.
So, do you have Shadows of Nindira in paperback?
I have them all in paperback. Yeah.
When I get them,
it looks
I'll
really
eventually
nice
be
too.
Ordering it.
I made all of the cover pages dark, like in the collectors, just to make it kind of different. I guess, I don't know, but it's really nice, and nobody's buying them, so it makes me upset. But they're like dark like that. It looks really nice. He's not even looking. Jerk.
It does look good. I'm watching.
There, it's dark. See, I don't know if you can tell it's darker. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna quit. I'm just quit while I'm ahead. Fucking jerk. Okay, I'm gonna go eat.
He's just doing it on purpose now. Well, you enjoy your dinner, Justin. It was good to talk to you again. HC, good to talk to you again. Nice to see both of you. I had a good time away, but it is always fun to come back to this. It's definitely something I look forward to, and I have missed. So looking forward to kind of getting back into a more regular swing of things here and continuing on in our books and discussions.
Yay, me too. It's fun. I like getting back into my books and hanging out with y'all. It's fun.
Hell yeah, it's always
good.
Always a party.
I'm glad.
Glad
you're feeling better.
I'm feeling a little bit better. Getting there. I had food poisoning the other day, which I don't anymore, but still got something going on. I got sick when I went to the mountains, and I can't get over it. And now I don't have insurance, so I hope I don't die.
I'm sure you'll be.
We'll see how that goes.
If you die, you just die in debt, and it's somebody else's problem. So
Yeah, I literally can't afford to survive right now, so I don't have insurance. So we'll see what
More
happens.
reason to buy your books, y'all.
There you go. It's all
Please do
my
not let her
ploy.
die. These
Buy
need
it.
to finish.
Buy my book so I don't die.
Starving artist.
Oh my god, for real. Okay, well, bye.
Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate and love you all. Yeah. Anything else you want to throw in, Justin, HC?
No, it's been a blast.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
DMJ's Epic Quest. DMJ's Epic Quest. DMJ's Epic Quest. CNJ's 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 Epic Quest.